Good morning, everyone. Oh, sorry. I think there's a little bit of an echo. I'm not sure why. All right. Hopefully that's better. Sorry, you guys. I'm just going to have to change this for a minute. I'm not sure why the volume on here hasn't stopped. Okay, how's that? There we go. All right. So, good morning, everyone. Happy Easter. I am here live with a paper pumpkin, the April paper pumpkin. So mine happened to arrive on Friday, but we had a very busy weekend full of family and dinners and outings and everything. So I'm finally getting a chance to open this up. I'm hoping to make the 3 cards in the kit with you, as well as a couple of alternatives. So as you pop on, if you want to say hi, if you're watching the replay, let me know with a hashtag replay. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will come back and answer questions after the fact as well. All right, so I'm going to switch over to my desktop and we will get started. All right, so this is the gorgeous April paper pumpkin. The box is just stunning, as are the cards inside. Some of you may have seen Stampin' Up's video already with these. So we have the Berry Burst ink spot or Stampin' Spot in here. So I've just got my Berry Burst ink off to the side and we'll use that. Our stamp set this time around is a bunch of sentiments as well as some adorable little butterflies. And so these are just great for everything. Thinking of you, congratulations, hugs, I'm here for you, you are amazing, sending my love, on your retirement, to the happy couple. So perfect for wedding season and retirements coming up. So that is our stamp set. I should put that somewhere where I won't lose it. And then inside our paper here are all of our goodies. So I'm just going to move the box out of the way. And here we go. So we've got our pictures that show what we're going to be creating. And then everything's sealed up nicely. Look at those envelopes. Oh my goodness. So I absolutely adore these. These are just gorgeous. So let's open this up. So the one thing that doesn't come in your kit is a pair of scissors. And I find you need them right off the bat just to get into the packaging. Which is great, though, because it means your stuff won't get ruined by the weather. So these envelopes are stunning. They're all the same. And then just the backs and insides are white. Just gorgeous. All right. Put those off to the side. I'm going to put them into the box. There we go. Now, I always forget to do this. Pick up your cardboard. Your instructions are there on the back, as is your paper to go with your stamp set. So I think I've said this before, but at the end, when I'm finished everything in my kit, I take these 2 things, I put them into a clear envelope, and then I've got them together. So if I'm ever using my stamp sets and wondering, oh, where does that go? I can find it and where it goes. So those are great. All right, our instructions are wonderful. I'm going to set them aside for a moment and go through some of our cards. So we have this beautiful card. Now, if you know my videos, you know I'm going to be chopping this up because that is too beautiful to waste on the back side of a card. So we will be trimming those. So I'm going to keep one out and put the other one away for right now. And then we've got our second one. These are beautiful. So this has the gorgeous little gold frame on it. And then this backside, you can bet I'll be using for something else. And then they've hidden our other background underneath some stuff. So I'm going to pull that out. And again, I'm going to be trimming that one. That is so pretty. Oh my goodness. So I can already feel that I'm going to be able to double my cards for this set. Now, I love this. They've gone ahead and have die cut to match our sentiments. So we're going to be able to stamp right on here and then just pop it out, and we won't have to do any fussy cutting. So I'm just going to keep that one there because I'm not sure what I'm using yet. Beautiful gold hugs. That is gorgeous. So we'll for sure need one of those. I'm going to pop that out right now and put the other ones away. There we go. And then, oh wow, an absolutely stunning piece here. We get 3 of these. So I'm going to keep one of them out for now to use on our cards. And these are all pieces that we're going to punch out and use on our card front. That is just gorgeous. Okay, so with all of that sorted through, we're going to get started crafting now. So those pieces are incredible. So our first card uses this card base. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I am actually going to go and cut this and trim it down to 4 by 5 1/4 so that we can put it onto a card base and get double the cards out of it. So let me just go over to my trimmer. So 5 1/4 by 4. And we'll do that twice. There we go. All right. So by trimming that down, I've now got 2 card fronts that I can use. So I think I'll use them this way. 2 card fronts and this fun extra piece that I can use as an accent on something. So I'm going to put my 2 extra pieces off to the side for creations later. And we've got this piece right here. So this is where our hugs is going to get used, is on this card. And they would like us to use those itty bitty butterflies and stamp those in Berry Burst. So if you only have the larger paper pumpkin block, I do recommend that you mount them in the top right-hand corner of your block so it's easy stamping and easy inking. But if you have smaller blocks, it's always better. So I happen to have, all my little squares are in use. Interesting. All right, so I have slightly smaller blocks, not incredibly small. So again, I am going to put them in the right-hand corner. And which way does this little guy go? Looks like that. All right. There we go. So I've got that in the right-hand corner. I'm going to grab some Berry Burst ink. And they're asking us to stamp it right up here. And because then our hugs is going to go on right about there. And then our other little guy is going to go down here. So there's our little butterflies stamped on this piece. Now, because I modified mine, I need to choose a card base to put this on. So I could just go with a straight basic white, but I was thinking that we might want either Peach Pie or Berry Burst. The Peach Pie will bring out the gold in this. Or we can go with a Berry Burst. Some of the other colors in here are, what is it? Gorgeous Grape and Fresh Freesia in here. So then we could do, the Berry Burst might be nice. Or let's see what this will look like on Fresh Freesia. Ooh, that's kind of nice too. But I think we're going to go with the Berry Burst, kind of tie all of that in. All right, so that is the card base that we're going to use with this. Actually, we'll do that. All right, so we've got our hugs there. We're going to put that onto there, and then we have one more sentiment to stamp. So they've got us using these little ones that have kind of the curved edges, and a sentiment that's going to go with our hugs. So they've suggested using I'm Here For You. I think I'm actually going to do Sending My Love though. And yeah, we're going to do that one. So Sending My Love. It just makes it a little bit more generic, like it doesn't have to be, I don't know, I just think saying I'm here for you makes it a little more limited in who you can send this to. So we're going to use our Berry Burst again. Oh, there it is. Oh, good morning, Gail. Thanks for joining. I'm going to turn this upright. I just find it a little bit easier to stamp vertically than horizontally. And we're going to make sure we're fully inked. And Sending My Love. There we go. Well, that wasn't very straight. So the joy of this is that I can always flip it around and redo it on the back side. I think they also give you 4 of these. So if you really mess it up, you've got a spare. All right. There we go. That's better. All right. So Sending My Love. And that's going to pop on like that. All right. So now that we have everything stamped, let's start putting this together. Now, I do love their instructions because they actually tell you exactly where to put your adhesives even. So we are using mini dimensionals. We're going to use mini dimensionals for everything because that's all they gave us in this kit. And so they've got us putting one right in the middle of the G, one right at the bottom of the H. So these are big and they fit really easily. And then they've got us cutting one in half and putting those little half pieces, one half piece up at the top of our H and the other half piece over on the side of our Y. All right, so I'm going to peel the backings off of that. Oops, don't stay put. All right, so I'll peel the backings off and we're going to put this onto our card front. So I don't want to cover up my butterflies. I'm going to place this in here like that so that my butterflies show around it. Okay, now with that in place, we're going to take our little Sending My Love, and they've got us putting one at each end. That way we're going to leave it open for where it's going over top of our G. All right. And Sending My Love. And so I just kind of tucked it onto, oops, I kind of dragged it along until it tucked onto my G. And it's just a little bit under my S as well. There we go, Sending My Love. And then because we've modified this a bit, we have to still glue our piece down to our card front. If you kept the card as is, you'd be done. So let's just grab a little bit of liquid glue here. I like to use the wide end of my liquid glue, just get a little dot on there. Oh, come on. A little dot of glue on there. And then drag the dot along. That way you don't get too thick of a layer. And then we can also wiggle it around a bit so that we can for sure get everything straight. There we go. And then because I used a Berry Burst card base, it's a little bit dark on the inside, I'm just going to grab a piece of basic white and glue that to the inside. And because it's just a basic white inside, I think I'm going to stamp a few little butterflies in here too. Now you could stamp those before you glued this in if you wanted. Then if you made an oops, you could flip it over. I'm going to do that. Grab my Berry Burst and Let's pop a few little butterflies right in there, just in the bottom corner. All right, so that is our first paper pumpkin card done. I'm just going to grab my bone folder and close that up. All right, so there we go. There's our first card. Love it. All right, put that to the side, and we'll take a look at the instructions for the next one. So the next card, I do want to save the background of this card, like the back side of the card. I don't want to use that, but because we have this gold border on here, I don't want to get too close to the edges by trimming this down. So I'm actually going to cut it right on the fold so it remains 5.5 by 4 1/4, and I'm just going to glue this piece onto a white card base. So it'll fully cover the front. We won't see any of the card base showing through, but what that's going to do is give me this whole beautiful piece to use on a second creation. So I'm literally just cutting on the fold. So let's come in here. That's 4 1/4. That's right on my fold. And then my other piece I will trim down to 4 by 5 1/4 so that it's ready to go for my next alternative, whatever I choose to do. All right, so this piece was just cut on the fold, and I am going to grab a thick basic white card base, and we are going to glue this on so that it fully covers the front of our card. Now, actually, we should make sure to do it the right way. So we've got the pool party at the top and the fresh freesia at the bottom. So I'm going to do that right now so that we are ready to go to then just follow the rest of the instructions. All right. Oh, I'm almost out of liquid glue. Need to go grab another bottle. Yikes. All right. The nice thing about liquid glue, though, is when you feel like you're almost out, you probably can still make a few more cards with a little bit of patience. All right. So I've just gone ahead and glued that to our basic white card base, and we're good to go. Oh, hi, Louise. Isn't it a gorgeous paper pumpkin? Oh, my goodness. I can't believe it. It's so pretty. All right. Oops. This is where liquid glue helps. That wasn't quite straight. So just scooch it over. There we go. All right. So with that done, we are going to take this beautiful piece and very carefully pop this out of its frame here. Oh my goodness, this is gorgeous. So it's not very hard to pop out, but you do want to go slowly and try not to lose any bits. There we go. And then we've got our base. So this whole base is going to go onto our card. Now they did want us to stamp the butterflies first, but I feel like I want to put this on first so that I get the butterflies stamped in the right places. And so this is all going on with dimensionals. So I'm going to skip ahead and do this before I stamp my butterflies, or maybe just place this. Actually, yeah, why don't I do that so it's not popped up and getting in the way? I'm just going to place this and stamp my butterflies, and then we'll pop it up. So they've got us putting the one little singular butterfly right here by this leaf, and these two little double ones up here by that flower. All right, and that's it. Okay, we'll do a sentiment in a moment, but let's get this piece added on. So with those in the right spots, we're going to flip this over. They've got us doing 4 across the bottom, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, you haven't received yours yet, Gail. You know what? Mine I thought was a little bit late as well. And I've heard other people in the States saying that they don't have theirs yet. So I'm not sure what's happening, if maybe there was wild weather or if it's a new, I do know in Canada we have a new carrier sending it. So that might be the issue. So we've got the center of those 3 flowers. And then here, whoops, let's only use 1. And here you can see there's a spot on the leaves that's a little bit bigger. That's where we're going to put the dimensional there. So in total, we have 8 dimensionals on this beautiful piece. I am going to peel off the bottoms first. Then I'm going to do these tops. There we go. Now, to get this perfectly lined up, I'm actually going to stand up my card and stand up this piece and kind of push it back towards the card. But so both pieces were sitting on my desktop, so they're both perfectly even at the bottom. There we go. So that delicate piece is on there. Now, now I have to figure something out. I've got to find my stamp set, and I've got to figure out which ones of these. So now they have recommended doing Thinking of You, and our next card is Congratulations. So I think that's exactly what I'll do. So I'm going to grab this Thinking of You. I think it's this one. That looks right. Yep, there we go. So it's upside down to stamp it, but that's okay. And I'm going to pick my block and put this onto my block. And then we'll ink that up and re-stamp it right onto that cutout. Oh, you didn't order it, Louise. Oh, what a shame. Yeah, the next 3 actually, April, May, and June, look like they are going to be fantastic. I wouldn't want to miss out on any of them. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't buy extras of this one, which I usually do. And yeah, I'm kind of regretting it. Now, if you've got little butterflies and sentiments, though, Louise, and you are going to register or have been a Paper Pumpkin subscriber before, you can always buy the refills of this one and then just use your own sentiments. So they won't match up perfectly with these punch outs. You'll have to fussy cut, but you'll still at least get the gorgeous background papers and everything. So there's our Thinking of You all stamped. Now they are recommending that we put dimensionals on the back of the Thinking of You and putting it on here. I don't like doing it that way. What I prefer doing is actually looking at where my Thinking of You is going to land and then coming in here, and I actually like putting the dimensionals, okay, yeah, on the card base where I know they'll get covered. So I've just put 3 in there. And now when I put down my Thinking of You, I'm going to make sure that I can't see any of those. And that way it'll stick and it won't overlap on any of our gorgeous pieces here. So just like that. And yeah, I prefer to put it down that way. That way we don't wreck any of our background stuff. So that is our second card done, and it is just stunning. And then because we trimmed it, we have another beautiful background that we can use for something. So yeah, there we go, card number 2. And our third card is a Congratulations, and this one's perfect with wedding season coming up and everything. They've used You Are Amazing, but I think I might make this to the happy couple because I know there's a lot of weddings coming. So again, though, they've got this beautiful background, and what a waste to use it as a whole one. So I'm actually going to trim this down so that it is 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to mount it onto probably a pool party background, but we'll see. So 4, 5, 5 1/4. Now, when I do my 5 1/4, I actually take a tiny bit off each side instead of fully off of one side. That just gets rid of the slightly rounded corners and makes it so that I don't lose all of one color. So now I have two gorgeous backgrounds and I can decide what color to put this on. So because I got two, I'll just show you both. So there is on a fresh freesia background, and here it is on a pool party background. So we've got those two choices. Of course, we could also put it on a berry burst background if we wanted, or some other color, but I think I'm going to go with fresh freesia. The berry burst, especially for a wedding, it just seems a little too dark. So I think I'm going to go with that fresh freesia and keep it a nice soft look. And then we've got our extra piece here that I'm going to put off to the side. All right, so I'm going to get started and just glue this straight down. No messing around. We'll just get it done. There we go. So my liquid glue. Now you could also get really fancy, cut this down even just slightly more, and then do it, with a very thin berry burst border, and then put it onto some other color. That would work too. Now fresh freesia is light enough that we don't need a liner per se, but I just think it makes for a nice finished look. So I am actually going to grab my liner right now and pop that on there. Okay. Now in this kit, they did only send us the mini dimensionals. So if you are going to do these modifications, you do need to have some other kind of adhesive. Green glue is my favorite. All right. Pool party is my favorite color, but I feel like for this one, for the wedding, the fresh freesia really does this card some justice. So there we go. Now they want us to stamp again some butterflies on here, but again, we want them around the pieces that we're adding. So I'm going to lay the pieces down first and stamp the butterflies. So I won't glue them down. Well, not even glue them because they're going on with dimensionals. So I won't attach them yet, but I will put down this gorgeous piece of gold that they've got here for us. So that's supposed to go down. And then we are also supposed to be using one of these punch outs. The congratulations is supposed to go on there over top. And then our butterflies, and you are amazing, or to the happy couple. So that's one of our straight cuts. So a straight cut is supposed to go on there as well. So congratulations to the happy couple. And then our butterfly should go around that. So now that I've kind of got those laid out where I think they'll go, now I'll come in with our butterflies. And oh, I see that they actually want that on a bit more of an angle. Okay, so now I'll put a set of butterflies there. And one little butterfly goes above and should stay in the pink. There we go. Beautiful. All right, we'll keep our ink out. I'll grab the congratulations. And I keep moving where I put that stamp set. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we'll grab our congratulations, and we'll also grab the to the happy couple. This is just so pretty for a wedding card. To the happy couple. There we go. All right, so if you're using a paper pumpkin block, you will have to mount it kind of sideways. It won't fit fully across. And we'll ink that up. And it's nice though with the clear stamps, you can line them up and stamp them. So beautiful. Oh my goodness. All right, and our happy couple. To the happy couple. Oh, I should make sure that that fits. Oh, it does. Of course it does. They wouldn't make the stamps not fit their labels that they cut for you. There we go, to the happy couple. Beautiful. So now everything, of course, gets attached with the mini dimensionals that they've given us. So the beautiful gold here just goes on with a singular one in the center. And so we'll just put that again between our two butterflies. There we go. And then the congratulations is going to go on with, now it's funny, they show one on each end and one in the middle, but if you do that, it's going to get caught up on the one that's already there. So I'm skipping that. I'm just doing the two ends. I don't need it bulging in the middle. So we're just doing the two ends, and we're going to put our congratulations across like that. And then our to the happy couple, they've got one going on each end, which we should be able to safely do. However, I don't entirely trust it, so I'm going to put them onto my card base and then cover them up. All right, to the happy couple. There we go. And that is our third card completed. So pretty. Okay, so I absolutely love this set. This is so beautiful. So I'm going to show you the three cards that we made using the kit. So there are our three kit cards, almost exactly how they asked for them to be, except that by the little modifications I did, we managed to squeeze out a few extra pieces that we can use for some alternative cards now. So that's what I'm going to get started on now. So I'm going to move these off to the side. And I am actually going to bring in my Hugs Abloom dies. So these dies are an add-on that goes with the April, May, and June paper pumpkins. So you can see here we have that beautiful scripty hugs that we can die cut. So if we wanted to add a little bit of gold, we're going to be able to do that with some gold foil. Then we've got a flower and a leaf that I'm guessing goes with one of the other kits. However, we're going to be able to use it with this one. And then we have this lovely tag that we can also use. So in our kit, we do have, if we didn't make any mistakes, we do have an extra thinking of you, an extra congratulations, and an extra of each of those small labels, because our card kit makes 3 of each card, and they gave us 4 of each of these labels to give us a little bit of grace to mess it up. But if we don't, then to be able to make some alternatives. So I'm going to pop those out. So we've got those pieces as extras. We also, because of how we cut our cards, you'll have 3 extras of this piece. 3 extras of this piece, 3 extras of this piece, and 3 of these long strips that we can use for something, plus our snap set, of course. So with all of these bits here and in mind, we are going to start doing some crafting. So I'm going to put that off to the side. I think I am actually going to start with this beautiful piece. So this piece we can use almost exactly how they did on the original card. So you're going to be able to actually create more of them, because so we've got this giant hugs. Our other hugs isn't quite as big, but it's a pretty good size. And we can use it here and actually die cut it. You could die cut it out of gold if you wanted, or any other color, and then add some bits on onto this. Now, because this hugs is smaller, I think what I'm going to do is die cut it, and then instead of putting the sentiment on a label, I'm just going to put the sentiment right onto the card front. So we are going to die cut that. Now, if you don't have gold, you can always use, I think black actually personally would look wonderful on this. I love black and white with the splotches of color. Or you could use crumb cake. Gets quite a gold look to it. Now, I do happen to have some gold in my stash, so I am going to grab the gold and do a little bit of die cutting. Oh, that's assuming I can find my gold. Hi. All right. It's here somewhere. I've got just a few things on my shelf right now. Ah, here we go. So I do have a goal here to actually try to use up a bunch of my DSP because I'm drowning in DSP right now. So, oh, that won't fit on that piece. All right, let's grab a new piece. I've got others. Here we go. So if you wanted to, you could also put adhesive sheets behind this so that it was more like a sticker, but I am going to actually use mini dimensionals to attach this. So I'm going to cut this one out. And now if you have none of that, you also have the little Hugs stamp in your set. If you don't have a die cut machine, you have the little Hugs stamp, and you could stamp that in crumb cake or black, or even in berry burst. Or you could heat emboss it in gold. So we have a ton of options here. So I'm just going to run that through. There we go. So I've got my Hugs. So I do highly recommend these little add-on kits. I believe they're $16.95. But I love them because they go with 3 months worth of paper pumpkins. And it just gives some new life to your stamp set when all of your paper pumpkin bits are done. So there's our gorgeous Hugs. We are going to pop this one up. But first of all, I am going to do my stamping on here. So I am going to try and stick with the berry burst and not add too many other colors. So Hugs, sending my love. And I'm going to put the sending my love right below. Just like that. And just like on our original, we're going to pop in a few little butterflies. Just like that. And then we're going to pop this one up. So this is pretty tiny. I'm going to have to cut these dimensionals up. Now, what I might do, though, is actually cut the edging. So I'm just going to come straight along here and cut that edge. Now I've got like these long, thin pieces that I can use. And, oops, there we go. So we'll come in and pop these on. So I would like a piece here on my H. I think we'll do a piece here on my Y. So I'm kind of looking for where the die is a little bit thicker and trying to also space them out across across the image. So I've kind of got it 2 ends and a center supported. So that's looking like right here. Oops, that one's a little too long. Just got to trim that down, make it a bit shorter. So dimensionals are kind of fun because you can really cut them to whatever size and shape you need. The other option is our adhesive foam sheets. And then we could have just put that down and die cut this whole thing. And then the whole thing would be popped up. Kind of a neat option as well. All right, and then I think I'll do one more in there on the G. So we've got 4 little trim pieces here on our Hugs. There we go. We'll peel all those backings off. And there we go. All right. Now we'll take our Hugs. Oh, that one is too wide. So now that I picked it up, I can see that that one is too wide. So what I'm going to do is actually come in and trim it with my scissors. Oh, maybe I won't. Maybe I'm just going to peel it off and put the new piece on. Okay, I feel like this is actually thinner. So I just made a thinner piece to put on there because I don't want it showing through. There we go. That's better. Okay. Oh, and on my G, I can see just a little bit, but that's just in the center of my G, so I'm just going to come in and snip it out. I'm stuck to my hugs. So as you can see, using maybe the adhesive foam sheets would be easier, but this is what I've got going on, so we're going to work with it. And there we go. Oops. You want to make sure you're putting it down so that it's going to lay flat. There we go. All right. So there we have our hugs added onto our card. Just going to clean up all my little backings here. All right. So definitely easier if you use foam sheets and die cut it with the foam sheets. So there's our hugs. And now we just need to put this onto a card base. So I do have a berry burst card base. So we had cut one for our previous card, and so this is the other half, and so we can just pop it on there, and then we have our first alternative card done. And it's just very similar to the original, but using the things that we have available. Since they only gave us 3 of those big hugs, we've got to make our own. All right, let's see if I can get my glue to pull me through these last few cards. All right, and then just like I did on the original, we'll take a piece of basic white and pop it on the inside as well, so that we have that nice space for writing on the inside. So there's a way to use your add-on dies to recreate a whole bunch of these. And of course, because we're using die cut pieces, you have all 3 backing. So you're going to get 3 of this card out of your kit. So that's a really nice option. All right, now our next pieces that we had available to us are these guys, and I love them. I think what we're going to do is you could, because you have an extra, you could get one more card that looks just like the original, but then you're going to have to figure out something else. So you can definitely take that backing and do like the congratulations. Now you don't have the gold piece though. I don't think you're missing it though if you don't use it. So you can get one more card that looks almost exactly like the original. And then we're going to do something totally different here. I'm actually going to put those pieces off to the side. We're going to take this beautiful piece and I'm actually going to cut it in half. Let's see. I'm going to do that with my paper trimmer. So we had cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4. So now it's going to be 2 by 5 1/4. And what that's actually going to enable me to do is to get 2 more cards out of this one piece. Okay. So this is just such a pretty look. Now these are cut down to 5 1/4. My regular card bases that I put into things are also at 5 1/4, and we're going to be able to glue that down onto one of those kind of like insert type pieces. And so we can do that with both of them. And we can make 2 cards here at once. Oh, come on, come on, come on. There we go. So I'm going to take that and glue that one down to there and grab a second base because we're going to do 2 for 1. And come on. Oh my. There we go. And we're going to glue that one down as well. Just like that. All right. so what we've got here now are these two background pieces. And now we're going to go and grab some paper to go behind these, so like a card base. So I think for this one, I'm going to go with Pool Party. And so that will fit nicely on there. And this one's a little bit brighter and bolder. I'm actually wondering about Peach Pie. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, and so we're going to do one with our Pool Party, one with our Peach Pie background. So we can glue those right down to our card bases as well. Now, keep in mind, I'm trying to use kind of minimal supplies, use what's in our kit, use the inks that we have. You guys can go crazy, though. If you've got other inks, other stamp sets you want to put with this stuff, like, wow, you can have a lot of fun with this. All right. So we're going to do that. And we're going to do that. Come on. Now, of course, the card base colors I've chosen, they're just what I happen to have here. I knew that they coordinated with the kit, but go ahead and put these onto any card bases that you think look good. Okay, so I've got those done. And now what I'm going to do, actually, I think I might turn this one. No, we're going to keep it upright still. Okay, so we're going to work with them in this direction. Now, because I've got my add-on kit here, and I have this beautiful label die, even though it wasn't, I don't think, intended to go with this. I think it's intended to match up with our Mountain Majesties kit that is for next month. I think that this is going to work beautifully as a layer to pop up our sentiment on. So I am actually going to die cut two of these. Now, if you wanted to save some paper, you could have actually die cut it from your basic white before we glued this DSP strip over top. And so you wouldn't even be able to know that it was missing because that gets sandwiched in between your card base and your DSP. But I'm just going to go grab some basic white and just do two little runs through my machine here. So I've just got some scrap papers on the side. And there's one. And I'm just going to run those here. So there's one. And let's grab another scrap paper here. There's two. So you could even do these in colors if you wanted. There we go. So I have got two of those little labels die cut now using our die from our add-on kit. And then I'm actually going to grab these little leaves as well. Oh, come on. They're stuck. Okay, so I'm going to grab these little leaves from our add-on die as well, and I'm going to die cut them using some Pool Party cardstock. So I'm just going to grab some scraps of that. And these will fit on my mini, so I might as well grab that. And here we go. We're going to die cut these leaves. And I am going to do two sets of them, one for each card. I'm not sure I'll use the Pool Party ones on my brighter card. We'll see. But we'll do two sets and see what happens. So there's one set, and I love like the detailing and everything that goes onto that. A little line in the center of our leaves. So sweet. All right. There we go. Definitely using them on the Pool Party one though. That is stunning. Okay. So with that die cut, we're really making good use of our add-on kit this time around. We've got this that can go here. We've got our mini dimensionals for our adhesive, so we're going to be able to use those to add on. I'm feeling like for this card, I want to step away from the berry burst, so I'm going to do this card first. And yeah, like I thought, I don't think I'm going to use those on, maybe I'll actually use both of them on this card. Ooh, there we go. All right, but I am going to step away from the berry burst for this card and keep it softer. This one is super bright and fun and bold, so we're going to keep going with it. All right, now let's see. Does Thinking of You actually fit fully on there? It doesn't. Does Congratulations? Oh, it doesn't. All right, which means we're going to go grab our hugs because we do have that one more. Now, the other thing you can do is go grab another sentiment. Like maybe I wanted a birthday card. Go grab a happy birthday and pop it on there. You don't have to stick with the stamp set that comes in the kit. So I'm going to put hugs on here, and I'm going to keep it with the berry burst. And let's see, I'm going to put it right in the center. Hugs, just like that. And I'm going to put some butterflies around it. And just like that. So the hugs is there, and we can pop that up, and we can even grab, I think we're going to grab some twine and put some twine on there. And then I'm going to put the rest of the sentiment down here in this open space. So, hugs, sending my love. All right. So, sending my love. Just like that. I'm going to put that hugs down just a little bit lower. And so we're going to pop this one up now with our mini dimensionals. I put down somewhere. Oh, they're there. Right in front of me. Now I'm going to use 5 on here because we're using minis. If we were using full size, I'd probably just use 3. There's the one. All right, so let's peel these backings off. And just like that. I'm going to pop that on like that. And now I feel like we still need something up there. So I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to grab some gems. So oftentimes, especially with kits like this one where they don't give us embellishments, I will grab some embellishments that I think could go nicely with this. And I think, let's see, what would we use with this? I want to keep it bright and fun, but not too crazy. So because we've used the peach pie background, I think what I'm going to do is grab some, oh no, I don't have any. I just used them all up. I was going to grab some peach pie shimmer gems, but I am all out. So peach pie shimmer gems is what I would highly recommend for this. But since I am all out, I am instead going to grab my peach pie from my rainbow dots. So they don't have the same shine to them. They don't have the shimmer, but it is the right color. And I'm going to pop some of those right on here and down here. And oops, not there. Right there. All right. And so we're just going to pop those peach pie ones on like that to finish off this card. So those are the rainbow adhesive back gem or back dots. If you have the shimmer gems though, that is for sure what I would have used. Oh, thank you so much, Pauline. It's really easy when you're picking colors from the paper pumpkin, because I just always look at the instructions and see what they say are coordinating colors. And then you just kind of work with those, and their artists have already done all the hard thinking for you. So it's kind of nice. All right, so that's one of our 2-for-1 happening here. So now this one I'm going to finish up. Now, if you only have Berry Burst, my suggestion to you is that you stamp it off and used a stamped off version for this. So I think Thinking of You doesn't fully fit, but it only goes off on the edging. So I think that's what we're going to use on this one. So I can show you here. If you use your Berry Burst and you take your Berry Burst and you stamp it, and then you stamp it a second time, we're going to get a much lighter look. So actually, you know what? That's exactly what I'll do. I won't get crazy here. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to keep one ink. I was thinking of grabbing some Pool Party, but you know what? Let's not. Let's use what we have. So there we go. We have our Thinking of You stamped on there. The G goes off a bit, the T goes off a bit, but otherwise it's pretty good. Now, I could have stamped that lower. Oh, no, I couldn't have because of the G. So yeah, I kept the G in, I kept the T in. That's the best we can do. All right, so we've got that stamped. I'm going to put away my scrap papers. I'm going to bring this back in. I got my Thinking of You on there. And then I was going to tuck the leaves under, but because we have this extra space, I'm still going to tuck them under. We'll use some gems to fill in that space. All right, so I'll go grab those rainbow adhesive dots again, and we're going to use those on here. So Thinking of You is going on there. We're going to put all of these pieces on with those mini dimensionals that we've got. So I'm going to put my label down first, and then I'm going to tuck the leaves underneath afterwards. So again, just like I did before, I'm going to do 5 on my label. Peel all those off. Got some staying behind. Come on. Oh, that one backing does not want to leave. There we go. All right. Now, I'm putting this down so that a lot of this white down here is going to get covered by that label. So let's see, just like that. All right, and now I am trying to line up the edges of this label so that it's straight. Now we're going to take these little leaves. You don't have to do every leaf, but maybe like one, skip one, one. And so you've got 2 dimensionals per leaf bundle. You could do all 4 if you really wanted, but I feel like that's going to get a bit more complicated for gluing it down because more spots that are going to try and grab. So now when I put this on, I want the leaf kind of overlapping, and I want it filling up a lot of this space. So now that one leaf looks a little floppy, so I am going to put one under it, but I'm not putting one under the leaf that's overlapping. If you have liquid glue or mini glue dots, you might want to use a mini glue dot actually. So I've got some here from a previous kit. A dab of glue would do too. And I'm just going to put that on the back of this leaf to hold it down in place. There we go. All right. And then we're going to do the same with our other leaf bundle up on the other side. So because I know I'm going to want that adhesive, I'm going to put it there right now and do that. Okay, we'll peel all those backings and we'll pop this in place. There we go. So now I want that kind of like that. Okay, so now the finishing touch on this one is going to be some gems. Because we used the rainbow adhesive back dots on the last one, we're going to use them on this one as well. So I love these because you have so many color options and they really fit with this color palette. So I'm feeling like that's looking a little fresh freesia, ish doing that stamped off berry burst. So we could use some fresh freesia, or we could come in with some Pool Party. I think we're going to do fresh freesia though. And I'm going to pop some. Oh, yeah, don't stick to me. I'm going to pop some down here. Oh. Okay, I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool today because these guys are really attacking me. All right. And we'll do one in there. And, and then some up here. So there we go. We've just kind of added onto that with our rainbow adhesive dots and created that second card. So this was one card back that we cut in half, and using just the Berry Burst ink and our add-on die kit, the Hugs Abloom, and then some rainbow adhesive dots. We got 2 more cards using this kit, and now we still have one backing left. Where did I put it? Here we go. So we still have this beautiful piece left as something that we can work with and create some cards with. So let's see here. I think I might go for my favorite card fold ever. Now, just which backing are we going to use? So we can go with fresh freesia, or we can go with the Pool Party. All right. I feel like maybe we'll go, oh, such a tough call. I think we're going to go with Pool Party. And we'll see what happens. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to get my paper trimmer here. This is my absolute favorite go-to fold ever, all time. Whenever you want to be a little bit fancy, but don't really have a lot of materials, I come on in here. So this is 5.5 across. So half of 5.5 is 2 3/4. So I'm going to put my fold at 2 3/4, and I'm going to cut. All right, so now I have 2 pieces here that are 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, and we're going to make a card out of that. Now, this piece we've got, I am actually going to cut it down to 2.5 by 5 1/4, and this other one also to 2.5 by 5 1/4. Now I have this extra little bit. We'll see what we can do with that. All right, so I'm going to take this. I've got my card base. This piece here, I'm actually going to put the pink down at the bottom, and we're going to glue that piece right onto this front panel. So this little fun fold was one of the first fun folds I ever learned, and it has just stuck with me. It's so easy to do and just makes the card a little bit more interesting. All right, so come in like that. We'll do that. Now our inside shows on this card. So I'm going to grab a piece of basic white, and we will pop that in just like that and glue that in place. Okay. So some liquid glue on here. We can stamp some butterflies on it afterwards. If you're nervous about that stamping on a glued piece, you can also place it, stamp it, and then glue it, kind of like what I was doing when I was putting together the original paper pumpkin cards. Get an idea of placement and then glue it after you've done the stamping. Okay, there we go. So that goes in like that. Now this piece is going to go across our card front like this. Now I am actually wondering if that's going to be too busy to have both of those papers on there. So I think actually we're going to be able to double down on this, and we're going to do this twice. Okay, so save this, make a second of this. All right, I'm going to put that into my box so I can do that later. You guys don't need to watch me doing it on this one. So for this card, then we're going to want another piece of white to put on here that is 2.5 by 4. So I'm just going to go grab a scrap of white and cut it to 2.5 by 4. All right, so we've got our 4 by 2.5. It's going to fit beautifully onto there. Now you could use another color or a designer series paper or something if you wanted, but I'm going to skip that. Now we couldn't do our congratulations on our last card because it didn't fit. So for this card, we have some choices. We could do our congratulations on a separate piece of paper and then pop it up, or we can keep it really simple and stamp it directly onto here. And I think that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to stamp it directly onto here. But just like I did before, I'm going to stamp off so that it keeps it just a little bit softer and yeah, just has that lighter look to it. So here's my paper for doing my stamping off. And so I've stamped it kind of to the left. And now I'm going to get my To the Happy Couple. And I'm going to stamp that off as well when I stamp it. So To the Happy Couple. There we go. So congratulations to the happy couple. And I am going to put a few little butterflies around here, also stamped off. Okay. There we go. And there we go. All right. Now we've got a little bit of space underneath here where we're going to actually be able to tie a ribbon or something and add a little bit of extra interest to this. So when we take a look at the ribbons that we have, I think, what do I want to use? I think this one's still available. Hopefully it is. Oh no, you know what? I want to use my Twisted Gold. Of course I do, because we've already got gold highlights and flecks and stuff on all of our other cards. So I'm going to grab my Twisted Gold, and that's what we're going to use. So Twisted Gold thread, I'm going to take just the white layer and put a little bit there so it's hanging a little tail, so we're going to be able to tie a bow. I'm going to wrap that around twice. It's a little too tight, so I'm going to snip that and loosen it a bit. There we go. So let that loosen up. Now I've got these two ends, and I'm going to take one and put it around all of the threads so that it knots everything together, like pinches it in a spot. Okay, now if that knot is not in the right spot, I'm not worried about that. I'm going to be able to scooch it around after I've tied my bow. Okay. So now I'm going to take my two ends. I've got a nice knot there. I don't have to worry about holding anything in place. Two bunny ears. Wrap them around. And there's my gorgeous bow. Now I'm going to pull it down to size. I'm also going to twist it so that it sits the way I want it to. Okay, so it's not quite sitting how I would like it to. I think I just got to twist it a bit more. So this thread is almost a little wiry, in that you can kind of make it take a shape or twist it to be in a particular spot. You just got to keep working it. So we're just going to keep working it, and then I think I want that actually all the way over here on that side. I think I want it on the inside of our card so that when it kind of hangs too big and overlaps and stuff, it's falling off onto our side panel, not off of our card. All right. And so we've got that opened up. We've got that twisted how we'd like it. We can twist it even a bit more. And I've put it all the way over to the left-hand side. All right, so that's so pretty. And now I can trim those ends. There we go. And we're going to glue this down to our pool party piece here that we had cut off of the front of our card. So I'm going to glue that down. So some more. Okay, come on. There we go. And it doesn't matter that I've got the cord here. It's not going to pop it up so much that we have problems having it stick. There we go. And put that down. There. Now to attach this to our card front, I am going to use more of our mini dimensionals, or you can use the outside edges. Actually, I love doing that. Is taking those bigger outside edges, cutting them, and using them kind of as more standard size dimensionals. So I'm going to flip this over, and the very far edge, I'm going to put one in each corner. And then along the inside edge, I'm going to put two. So now when I peel these backings off, I'm not going to be gluing my card shut. And I'm going to have this attached to my card front. So just like that, get that all nice and centered, top to bottom, side to side, just like that. There we go. And then the last thing to do to this card is to add some embellishments. So some iridescent foil gems would look great on this, but we started with rainbow dots. So that's what I'm going to finish with, is rainbow dots. And I think for this one, I am going to go with the pool party. So we're going to maybe, I've already got a bunch there. So let's come in. No, actually, we're going to go down here. We're just going to use 3 on this card. It doesn't need a ton. It's already got quite a bit going on. And might even just, yeah, right there. All right. So just a few little gems on there just to finish it off. And that is our 4th alternative. So with the few little pieces we had left over and some extra gems, we actually got 4 cards out of this. And there we go. And then we've got the 2 different colors of ink by doing stamped off or full strength. So those are my alternative cards for this month's Paper Pumpkin, the April Paper Pumpkin. Now, I actually have some exciting news to share with you, is that in addition to these videos that I do where I show you guys these extra alternative paper pumpkins, I have actually joined a group called Paper Pumpkin Stamp Sets. And so for my Paper Pumpkin subscribers, so people who subscribe under me, you're going to start receiving a fun tutorial each month that I think there's 12. You're going to get 12 tutorials for things that you can do with just the stamp set after the fact. So no leftover pieces from your Paper Pumpkin kit. We're going to assume that you've watched these videos, you've found all the different alternatives, and you've used up all the scraps and bits from your Paper Pumpkin, but now you have your stamp set. What do you do? And we're going to create samples for you using that stamp set so you can keep using your kit and getting enjoyment out of it. So that is for any of my Paper Pumpkin subscribers. So if you haven't ever subscribed to Paper Pumpkin but wanted to give it a try, make sure that when you join and use me as your demonstrator, and that will be a little perk that you get with each month. If you need any help figuring out how to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, give me a shout and I'm happy to help walk you through the process. So it's, you can do it month by month. You can get a 3, 6, or 12-month subscription. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. They're gorgeous, and you don't want to miss the next 2 months coming out. May is Majestic Mountains, and it's just gorgeous masculine cards with beautiful mountain scenery. And June is Flowers. I can't remember exactly what the tone to it is, if it's sympathy or if it's like more wedding kind of thing, but I do know that it's Flowers, and that you can always change up the sentiments that we put on cards. So yeah, that's wonderful. Oh, thank you, Louise. And yeah, I hope you get a refill kit and can put your own sentiments with it and enjoy these gorgeous papers because they are so beautiful. All right, thanks everyone, and I will see you on Wednesday. If you can join me at 9 a.m. Pacific, I'll be doing my 1 layout 3 cards for the month of April. All right, take care everyone. Bye-bye.